Hello there, how's it going? So, in this video, I'm just going to walk you through exactly how you can start or scale a coaching business. So, you might have been watching all these videos online, different people telling you to do different things. Like someone saying, run ads straight away. Someone saying, like, do organic straight away. Someone is saying, hey, just like, add 10 people, 20 people a day and just like, do some organic stuff. Like, everyone's giving you different reasons and you're probably torn, like, who should I actually listen to? So, you probably click on this video to just, see what I've got. So the lingering thought that's behind your head is probably, okay, cool. Like, who is this guy and why should I even trust you? And what makes you even different compared to these other people I've watched before? So what makes me different is it's gonna shock you. I'm not actually a coach, and the reason why I'm not a coach is because when I'm a coach, I'm incentivized to market in a certain way that makes you think a certain belief. Because, for example, a lot of these coaches that you might have been watching or different people online, even though they're just marketers, at the end of the day, I can't hate. I'm a marketer as well too. What they're trying to make you believe is the system that's worked well for them, which they're probably going to teach to you. So what they're going to do is they're going to purposely disregard the actual reasons and other methods that could potentially work well for you, just to basically show you their method specifically. So one person might say, hey, ads work the best, organic not so much, it's not consistent, blah blah blah. And then another person might say, hey, don't do ads, like ads is not going to work for you, it's expensive, do organic, blah blah blah. But I'm just going to tell you as it is, because I have a done for you service where I actually come into coaching businesses and I build the stuff for them. So I'm not coaching them how to do the things, I'm building it. And yes, it's a little bit more it's a little bit less scalable, but what I'm doing specifically that doesn't require me to have tons of clients and still make a lot of money is, coming in and taking percentages in businesses that are doing extremely well. So without that's out of the way, now you know my intentions. Let's just jump straight into the video. So how you can actually start or scale a coaching business. So just to give you some context to me, my name is He's been able to scale coaching businesses past, 30, 40, even 50K in single months. And we've been able to do this organically, dabbling into ads as well too. But I'm just going to show you what I would have at least wanted to know if I, wanted to start or help people start their coaching businesses. So there's usually three criteria that you have to like make sure you know before you even start a coaching business in the first place. The first criteria is you need to know, are you just doing a coaching business just for the sake of doing a coaching business? Like, do you think it's an easy way compared to like, doing a done for you service compared to like, working a 9 to 5, etc., etc. Like, if you're just doing it for the sake of like it's easy, to be honest, this is probably not really going to work that well for you. Like, I'm just going to be brutally honest, it's actually pretty hard. You have to do a lot of stuff, you have to make a lot of content, and you have to just be in front of the camera a lot of the times, especially if you're online, because if no one sees you, you have no attention, you make no money. So like, you have to be someone that likes that, so that at least can tolerate doing something like that. And the second thing is you need to have at least have done something notable or something that most people just don't know how to do correctly. Like, you need to at least be good at something that you can actually coach people on. So for example, if you haven't done anything notable, like if you haven't been able to, let's say, get it a good shape, a good physique, they can show to other people as evidence that your stuff works. Or if you haven't been able to, I don't know, if you're a dating coach, like, get a relationship or like actually have like, a partner or whatnot. Or if you're a sales coach, if you haven't been able to at least close like, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million or whatnot in your coaching business to be able to merit teaching other people and showcase that you know what you're doing. If you don't have any of those things, or like if you're a mindset coach, if you haven't like conquered your mind, done something notable, if you haven't done anything, like no one's gonna listen to you, no one's gonna pay you money, because people only buy from people that they see can get them from point A to point B. If they can't see that, and if it's not evident straight away, it's gonna be extremely hard for you to start coaching business. So don't even think of doing one in the first place. First of all, go do some hard shit and then come back to teaching other people. And then the third thing is that like you need to make sure that you actually want to get results for the people you're working for. So what I mean by this is that you don't want to come into this thinking it's an easy cash grab, and you don't want to like actually get results for these people, because it's the results that's actually going to double or triple or like quadruple the revenue that you're going to be able to make. Like, what gets you to 30, 40, 50K is probably not what's going to get you to 100K specifically. You can't just like double it. What you want to focus on is relationships with your clients, relationships with the results, and then creating feedback loops, which I talk about in a video where we scaled an actual business to 54K in a single month. I'll leave on the top right. That is what you want to kind of focus on. You want to focus on creating feedback loops in your businesses that rely on your clients getting success and your clients getting wins. So if you feel like you fit those three criteria and you actually want to do those things, then you can probably keep watching, because like this is going to be for you, and I'm just going to show you like the whole thing that makes coaching businesses work in the first place. Okay, so all right, let's jump right into it. So there's a major thing that makes it work. So there's your market, and then there is the problem you are solving. Okay, so what I mean by this is the market. These are the people who are going to give you the money in the first place. Okay, if there's no market, there's no money because the people are going to buy from people. That's how it works. And then the problem is, okay, cool, now that there's people there, like what is going to merit them actually giving you money? Okay, that's what problem actually focuses on. So like what can you specifically solve for them that's going to merit them, paying you 2, 3, 4, even 5K a month just for you to, not a month, but like 5K up front just for you to like potentially help them fix the services. If there's no market, there's no reason of making it. If there's no problem, you don't even want to touch that niche. Like, and what I mean by that is, let's say you have an audience of people who they want to get into shape, that they have, that's the market. But let's say the problem is that they can't be consistent. They don't know how to they don't know how to track the macros. They don't know how to like weigh themselves. Then that's the problem, and you can come and potentially be the bridge to that gap, assuming you know how to do it. So that's the first thing you need to figure out, your market and the problem. Okay. And then the second thing you need to figure out is you need to at least have an audience of people that you can market to yourself. So that's another thing that you need to have. I should have added that as a criteria actually. If you don't have an audience to sell to, I'm sorry, you shouldn't even think about doing coaching. Like genuinely. Like I don't know who tried to create this notion of like, coaches, you don't need audiences, you can start from scratch and whatnot. There are circumstances where you can, but like the people who scale the most, coaches who scale the most, just look at them, they have audiences. And the reason why it works is because people buy from people. Like there's no reason why someone's gonna pay for like 5, 10, even sometimes even 15K just to work with you if they didn't like you in the first place. Like it rarely ever happens. The reason why coaching is just so important on like personal brand and like the person that is actually behind the coaching specifically is because there's a little bit more emotional attachment to it compared to like, for example, services. With a service, let's say if I paid someone like $500 for graphics design, like that's like something that I can do anywhere. Like if someone approached me, I needed something, boom, 500, they do the thing. There's no relationship, there's no emotional connection. It's just a job. They do it for me, so I can get away paying that, or I can get away paying someone like 500,000 a month just for them to do a service that I might not even really like them. But when it comes to coaching, it's a little bit different. Like there's a little bit more of like, do I trust this guy? Do I like this person? Do I like what they do? There's a little bit more of that involved in it. So if you don't have an audience, because obviously the more people you have in your audience, the more you can market, it's going to be difficult. And what I mean by an audience is maybe at least, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15, whatever thousand people following you that you can come into and market. If you don't have an audience, just go build one. Like, there's tons of videos on YouTube that explain how to build, build an audience. You just need to create content. Like, if you're not doing it, I'm sorry, man, it's really not going to be the best fit for you, like, honestly. So make sure you actually build an audience, okay? And then once you've done that, like, let's say you have an audience right now, you just have something existing. What you need to now create is you need to create the offer that you're going to show to this audience. And the offer is going to be based off the market's research, the market and the problems that they have. So everyone likes to focus on like, build an offer and have great messaging, but they don't really break down what great messaging actually means. Okay. Great messaging is something that just speaks directly to the problems. Okay. So for example, an example of, let's say, great quote unquote messaging is, let's say if I have a coaching program where I help agency owners, let's say, for example, I teach agency owners how to run ads instead of using code outbound to get clients. Let's just say that's my coaching program. Instead of saying like, hey, I'm going to show you this new ad funnel that's been able to help me, generate 33-minute meetings without code outbound. That will still work. But if I came to an agency and I was like, hey, like, I'm sure you're tired of like, spending hours, sitting on your desk for maybe 8, 12 hours a day, sending emails, DMing prospects only for you to get, half of them like negative responses and then some of them positive. You hop on calls with them and they don't even know who you are. They don't really take you seriously. I'm sure that sucks, right? What if I told you there's a different way you could actually get in front of these people that didn't require you to do tons of outbound, didn't require you to sit on your desk for 2 minutes, 8 hours a day, and all it requires you to literally just sit on your phone, send out emails. I mean, click 3 buttons, and then boom, you have an ad that is going directly to people that actually want to buy your service. And the best part about this is that it doesn't even cost that much because you can get started with just about $15 a day. When you say like that, obviously there's a little bit more meat into that. But when you say like that, if you have that in your messaging, that is an example of speaking directly to a problem, because 80% of what I just said, I mean, not 80, maybe 60% of what I just said is literally directly to the pain. So they feel it. And then my solution is direct contrast to the pain that they experience. So that's what great messaging is. No one really teaches you how to say great messaging. You just like say, oh, have great messaging, test out the messages, spend money and ads, blah, blah, blah. They just say that, but they don't actually show you how to create good messaging. I just gave you an example. So if you want to create good messaging, just make it around the prospect's pain that you have, okay? And that's what you want to have in your offer. So I'm not going to dive into creating offers like, Alex Abosi does that a lot. So he's better than me than doing that, obviously. But, I have a great video on it on my YouTube channel that you can probably check out if you're interested in creating an offer more specifically. But now that you have the offer specifically, now you want to focus on, okay, cool, what is your acquisition channel? So what is the system of getting people to pay you? How are you going to get people to actually give you money, okay? Like, how are you going to acquire clients? Okay, so it can't be as simple. It's not going to be as simple that I'm going to break it down to you. Like, if anyone else that tells you something that's more complicated than this is just trying to sell you something, okay? What I'm trying to do, obviously, I do have something to sell, I'll be honest with that, but like, what I'm trying to do here is just make it so simple to the point that you understand it from a higher level, not in the concise level that a lot of these other marketers are trying to make you be in, because they obviously want to, make you believe something so they buy something. Nothing wrong with that. It's marketing at the end of the day. I'm a marketer as well too, but I'm incentivized to give you the most amount of information as possible, because like I said, I have a done for you service and I can't just work with 20 or 30 different clients. So I'm incentivized to give you the most amount of information so that you get the most amount of value, and then the people that do get the most amount of value potentially, want to work with me. So that's what I want to focus on here. So let's jump into acquisition. So everything always starts from traffic, okay? So if people aren't seeing your stuff, nothing is going to work. This is attention. Like, this is where you always have to start from. And there's two ways you can get traffic, okay? Like, there's more than two, but like, I'm just going to keep it very simple for you guys. There's either organic. You can get the algorithm to reward you for making content. They give you attention for making content. It's the way of how they reward you. Or you can buy it. That's literally the only two ways. There's obviously more when it comes to like affiliates, referrals, blah, blah, blah. But it's literally either you do organic or you buy the traffic. And they all do the same thing. Like, organic is obviously free. You don't have to pay for it. But you don't know how you're going to get rewarded unless you actually have a really good content strategy. And then ads is the same thing, where you can literally see the amount of impressions, like the range you will get. And then obviously if you have really good ads, you will get more. But you're paying for the speed of just getting that attention in the first place. So just trying to let the algorithm reward you, you're paying for it, okay? And whatever strategy you want to do, it's completely fine. But I'm just gonna tell you like the best ways that you should probably go about it, and the way that we've gone about it, okay? Because I'm just gonna go over what's worked well for us and for our clients that have been able to scale past 30, 40K. So like, when you're in here, organic, when you make content like videos, what people try to make you feel like when it comes to organic, they try to make it seem like no one sees your content. Like, when you make a video, people see the thing, because like, it's incentivized to push it out, especially if you have an audience. If you have an audience, so let's say 30, like 10K followers, 15K followers, 5K followers, when you post a video, you get views, you get likes, you get new people seeing it, don't you? Like, you do. But why aren't you like making it consistently? The reason is because people are trying to program you, or trying to tell you in a way that it just doesn't work at all, or like you can't create a content strategy. There's so many people they've like understood the algorithm so well that they can literally hack the amount of views that they want to get based on how they structure the videos and based on how they create the videos. Obviously, that's a lot of work to understand that, and you need to have really deep understanding. But just to show you, you can get views and you can get traffic with organic. So if you're not good at the content, or if you don't understand it, obviously you're going to brush it off. But I always recommend start with organic content, okay? So always start with this if you don't have like a lot of cash to like, burn into ads and whatnot, because this is going to give you feedback on your messaging, your offer, and it's going to get you your first initial clients and your first initial calls. Like, it always will, because people see it. Like, people will see your videos. Like, right now, you watching it, you'll see my stuff, even though I don't have crazy amounts of followers, still been able to scale organically. I don't spend money in ads, and people see this stuff, okay? So once you have that validated, what is going to end up happening is that you are going to be getting people interacting with your content. So interactions, and these interactions could be in the forms of like, it could be likes, there could be comments, and I'm talking about social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, mainly Instagram, and let's say like like YouTube, and then follows, for example. So all of this stuff, these are basically implicit requests of, hey, I like this person, I want to know more. Basically, that's what they're trying to say when they like this stuff. When they give you a like, when they give you a follow, blah blah blah. So what ends up happening is that you end up accumulating prospects. Okay, I don't know why I gave it that much space. You end up accumulating prospects that you can then directly approach to basically sell your stuff. So I'm gonna be honest on how this ladder is gonna work. So basically, the way people buy stuff is that there is a ladder, and everything you buy, you've gone through this ladder. Either you know it or not. If you've been an old watcher of this channel, you might probably know what this is. This is the buying ladder. So everything always starts from, I don't know you, basically not aware. So everyone that hasn't seen your content before, they're basically in this bracket, which is probably like 99% of the population. Unless you're Kim Kardashian and everyone knows you, then you shouldn't really be watching this video if you're Kim Kardashian. But if you're not her, then you're probably in this bracket of like people don't know who you are, probably over 99% of the population. And then once people have seen your stuff, let's say they saw an ad, they saw a reel, or they just saw like a piece of text that you wrote online. Now people are aware. So they're like, okay, cool, I've seen this person, I see your stuff. And then once they're in the aware stage, they then go into the education stage. So now they start getting educated about what you do and how you are able to go about solving a problem. So now they're aware of you. They're like, okay, cool, what is this guy? So this is good video. Let me go on his profile. Let me see what it's about. Oh, he's got good stuff. Let me just send him a follow real quick. And then once they're in this education phase, what you're now doing is you're making them trust you a lot. So you're making them trust you. You're making them see more of your content. They're like, okay, I like this person. I think he can actually solve my problem. And then you're like, you know what? Let me hop on the call. Let's see what this stuff is about. And then once they're on the call, you obviously persuade them. You make them say, make them see what they want to hear, blah, blah, blah. And then they start to love you, and then boom, they buy from you. Like every single time you build something, you probably have gone through this ladder. Either, like you believe you didn't understand it or not, or like either you're aware of it or not. Now you're aware of it, okay? So how does this relate back to buying coaching offers? So if we know that every single person on the planet has to go through this ladder before they buy something, there is something called buying ladder accelerators. And I just made this up. No one calls it this. I just made this up on the spot. But essentially what this is you can accelerate the process of how quickly people go through this thing. Okay? So for example, if someone, like I said here, if someone likes, comments, or follows you, they are probably in this education phase. But you can't just keep them in that education phase for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, sometimes even 12 months before they get into this love stage. That's what most people do. Like most people have so many people that are just chilling here. Like they'll maybe even like 60-80% of the audience is just chilling in this education spot. Like you're just watching more content, you're just consuming. Even though they have the problem, they're probably thinking to themselves, I'm just going to watch it. So what you need to do is you need to implement buying ladder accelerators. And essentially what you can do is you literally have direct response. You tell them to do something, like you send them somewhere that is going to have solely focus their attention on what you're doing, or direct DMs. So you're basically messaging the people who are in this education spot in your audience, in your market, and you're basically trying to accelerate the process of how they go from here to here. I'll explain to you how that means. So let's say someone follows you. Let's say like you get a follow from someone and they're in this education phase, they're watching your stuff. You message them, you're like, hey, thanks for following my stuff. Did you follow because, let's say sales coach, you're interested in learning more about sales, or like you're just trying to, get some more content. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just interested in learning about sales, man. Like, I've been seeing your stuff, it's good. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, what are you trying to do with sales? Like, oh, I'm trying to get into it. I want to get into a closer, blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, cool. Like, is this something that you want potential some help with? I've been able to help over 500 people do this stuff. And they're like, oh, sure, man. Like, I don't mind. Like, they might not have even known because they might have just stumbled upon your profile and they see, oh, wow, you've trained over 500 people. Sure, man, let's hop on a call. Let's see what you can do. Then they hop on a call and then boom, they buy. So you see how that process has been accelerated. That prospect that you probably spoke to might have already would have probably already wanted to buy later on down. But you've accelerated the process of how they go from education to buying the thing in the first place. So when you send a DM, all you're doing is just accelerating how quickly they buy your thing. So the way that you make this predictable, especially with organic, and this is what most people don't tell you, is you have metrics of, if I DM this amount of people that are in my audience every single day, this amount of people will reply, this amount of people will book calls. And I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say you get, let's say you get like 60 new people, you get 60 new people that engaging with your content on a single day. Let's say you message all 60 of those people. Let's say out of those 60, let's just say, half of them actually respond because, they followed you, they see your stuff. So, it's going to go in the direct inbox. They're actually going to see it. So let's say out of those half people that respond, let's just say, I don't know, 3 to 5, let's just say out of them actually book a call. So let's say you're having 30 conversations on this every single day, and let's say out of those 30 conversations, 3 people are booking calls. And this is accounting for people that might ghost you, people that might not be qualified, people that just don't have the problem that you're looking to solve, and they're still just like educating themselves. But let's say out of those 30 people, 10% of people that you actually have a conversation with would actually book a call, which is like pretty much like the standard. Like you should have a range of like 10 to 15. If you're not, then you're probably making some wrong content somewhere. So you should be averaging around 3 calls a day, which is what our clients average on a regular basis if they're consistently making content. So with this in mind, you know that if you DM 60 people and 30 people reply, you're expecting to get 3 to 5 people on a call every single day. And if you're consistent, if you implement a seller into this, you now have an organic system that relies on obviously you making content specifically. And that's all it is. Like when you're on the call, obviously you can do the sales stuff and then boom, you sign them as a client. But that's all. People like to really overcomplicate the system. Like they really like to do it. And you can get fancy with it. You can implement lead magnets. You can have sales letters. You can have like story stuff. But this is all it is. You're accelerating the process of how quickly they buy the thing using this buying ladder. And the way that ads come in is that ads literally just supplement what this is. So what ads will do is, let's say, for example, you just want more people to engage with your content. You just want more people to see it in the first place. You're like, okay, cool. Let me turn on ads. Let me get more people to see this direct response, which is telling them to follow me. And let me just give money to Facebook or like Instagram. Hey, here's like $50 a day. Make me see 10,000 new people every single day. And then you can then figure out, Instagram will tell you on an average, if 10,000 people see you every day, you might get 100 new followers every single day. And then you're like, okay, great. Out of this 100 new followers, how many people can I DM? And then blah, blah, blah. And then if you want more followers, you're like, okay, cool. You just pull the lever. You just pour more money into it. And then boom, you've got more people seeing your stuff. That's all it is. That's literally all ads do. It's literally just adding more leverage to what is currently already working. But the mistake most people will make is they won't understand how this stuff works in the back end and like the actual like macro view. And they'll just buy a program. And then, sorry if my throat is I'm just a little bit sick. They'll buy the program and then they realize that, this stuff is not really what I figured it out to be. And then they say, it's the program, it's blah, it's the system, blah, blah, blah. But this is literally all it is. Like, it's just that. This is the funnel that gets people to, 30, 50, even 100K a month just using this funnel specifically. Like, it's not really rocket science, okay? So where ads come in, like I said, you supplement what is already currently working. So I'm not saying ads is bad. I literally know that ads is leverage. Like you're literally buying the traffic, you're getting it on demand. Like it's crazy. Of course you want to do it, but you don't want to do it if you don't understand the system behind it that actually makes it work, okay? So now that you have this in mind, it's very simple to, just come in and, just have crazy amounts of leverage. But the problem most people are going to have if they want to implement a system is they have no idea where to start. Like I've just broken everything down, obviously, but when they start doing it, they will run into roadblocks that they don't know how to solve. Like, for example, what happens if no one's replying to the DMs in the first place that you send it out? Like, what happens if, you're getting stuck in the DM spot? What happens if, you want to start with organic content, but you don't even know how to get the eyeballs? Like, you don't even know, what to say in the videos, how to get people to be interested in the first place. So you run into these issues, and then you don't have someone that is actually coming in done for you, that is showing you and even implementing the stuff for you so that you don't have to go through the learning curve of learning it yourself. Because as a coach, why are you focused on sitting down and understanding the DM strategy? You're not a appointment setter. As a coach, why are you sitting down creating strategies for you? You're not a marketer. You're a coach. You just teach people how to do the things that you know how to do the best. So don't you think the biggest leverage So don't you think the biggest leverage is actually working with a team that knows what they're doing so that they can just implement the stuff for you so that you can just focus on what works well for you. Like, I think that's the best leverage, honestly. And, that's exactly what we offer now. You see, we literally come in done for you, implement the stuff for you that is stopping you from scaling. And then obviously we operate in a way that makes it super reasonable for people to come in and work with us, because we operate on threshold-based pricing. So we're only incentivized once we're bringing you in a certain amount of revenue to be able to, take a monthly retainer, all those agency costs that most people just try to take straight away. So if you want to learn more about that, there's a video linked underneath this video that is going to go over the video that I created that breaks down this offer specifically of how it could potentially help you get your next 10 clients. If you're interested in that, please check the link in the description. It's going to be there, and you can go watch that. And then other links that I referenced as well too are also going to be in the description as well too. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope we gave you some context. Hope it opened your eye to how easy it is to start the scale of coaching business. And if you have any questions about this below, just leave them in chat, and I would love to answer them. So yeah, hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Peace out. See you in the next one.